Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone, and welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm your host, Mucky Hope, and I'm joined by two fabulous guests. You know, if I was to talk about the GOAT of Survivor, the King of Survivor, I've got to talk about the Kings and Queens in my personal life. And as always, it's the Queen all the way from Australia, the Australian Queen. She's been with me right from the very start of this little mini series we're doing. It is the lovely Michelle. How's it going,
Hello.
Queen?
I think I missed one. I missed one of them. Janine's, I think. Maybe.
That's right.
I missed one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So have you really been with me from the start? No.
I was, but I just missed one. I couldn't actually speak. It was a bit tricky.
Yeah. Well, if you were really committed, you would have just had a refill paper and just hold up a page and just
mimed.
Just mime it, you know.
Fun.
And for the first time in a while, we're joined by the king of podcasts. You know, last time we chatted, he got pretty wasted talking about the season 50 cast and had some great funny chats about everyone. Ladies and gents, please welcome King Coach Drew. How's it going, brother?
It's going well. I'm stone cold sober. I've got my water. So I'm excited to talk about another king.
Yes, another king indeed. But just before, I'd like to share you guys a story. You know, I couldn't wait to do this podcast, right? You know, I got home from work early for once, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try making myself a soup. Now, Michelle Drew, have you guys ever tried making homemade soup?
Yes.
All right, yeah. Michelle, how long does it take to make a soup?
It depends what soup you're making. Pumpkin soup's pretty straightforward, pretty quick, and so is tomato soup. If you're making a chicken soup, usually takes a bit longer, and it's a lot messier usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Well, what did you do?
Well, I was like, it can't be that hard. Just chuck some veggies into the pot, mix it around, add some hot water, and slowly slushes itself into a soup. Anyways, and so as I was trying to make the soup, the water kept on evaporating, right? So I had to keep on adding more and more water and stuff. And I very quickly realized I'm not making a soup, I'm making a mush. And I rang up my auntie, I did some Google searching. It turns out it takes hours trying to make the soup that I was trying to make. But I was hoping to get it all sweet and done in 20 minutes, you know?
Oh, God, really?
So anyways, that's what the soup looks like. Pretty bloody beautiful, am I right?
Okay, what were you making?
So I've got some celery, I've got some beans, some green beans, got some carrot, got some cauliflower, got some broccoli, got some mustard seeds, coriander, thyme, cumin.
Nice.
Really bloody delicious stuff. And it went from that to so that was my bowl. It's just a bunch of lumpy crap pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
I hate every minute of this. And then I saw, oh my gosh, the podcast starts in 20 minutes. I got to hop on.
Did you actually follow directions?
See, that's the thing. I didn't think it would be that hard. So
okay, here we go. You need to follow directions until you know what you're doing. Oh God.
But it's just a liquid. Drew.
No, it's not just
how hard is it to make a liquid?
Well, you just saw your liquid.
So, yes, I don't cook, so you're asking the wrong person.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so it's a nightmare and a half. And I was like, what am I doing that's wrong? But anyways, we're here to talk about Tony. You know, and I've made sure this time that no fire alarms are going to go off or anything this time. So Michelle,
I don't think you can guarantee that.
I've done, seriously. I've done my prayers. You know, I've let all the steam from the soup go out the balcony. So
okay,
yeah, so we're all good to go. But as I digress, Drew, give us a history. Who is Tony Vlachos? Who is this two-time winner? Everyone says he's a GOAT of Survivor. Who the hell even is this guy?
I mean, he first showed up in Cagayan as someone that admits it's all part of the game. No matter what I do out here, it's all part of the game. Nothing I say actually matters. And I appreciated that mentality. And yes, obviously, as we will find out later, there are certain people that didn't appreciate it as much. But he's on the season that a lot of people consider one of the best of all time. He shows up again in Game Changers, and then he's gone. And then, of course, he's in Winners at War, where everyone and their mother picked him to go home first, and then he wins. I think that Tony is a great example of changing your game up. In order to, potentially win again. I think that his Winners at War game is leaps and bounds better than his Kagayan game. I think that Game Changers, he's just kind of playing with house money and decides, hey, I'm just going to be a fun little character and I'm not really going to try. Then he shows up on the Traders, doesn't last long, and from what I remember about it, he's overly upset that Rob kind of takes him out. He calls him a sellout, basically. I think that's all Tony has done. So yeah, Tony's been a very fun person on TV for the last 15 years.
Oh my gosh, has it really been 15 years?
No, it's probably been about 10. It's probably been about 10.
Oh, okay. Michelle, I guess I'd love to hear, what's your general thoughts on Tony? Like, do you love him? Are you like a bit all right with him? Like, how do you?
I'm all right with him. I don't love him, but I'm all right with him. He had a really good alliance. I love that he had Kopsaras. I love that he, initiated the whole spy shack sort of thing. I think it's really funny that, although disrespectful, the whole llama thing with Cass, like he's an icon in many ways for all the things that he did. And when you're on Survivor and there's so many seasons, you need the icons, you need the people who actually stand out. And although Cagayan is not my most favorite season, I can see its pluses. And you know what, when the old school games, even Cagayan's old school, and I remember a lot of the players in a lot of the games. When I watch things like 45, 46, 47, I don't remember hardly anybody. No one really stands out as someone like Tony or someone that, does different things and doesn't just play along with the game for 26 days and, goes off to that island and just run-of-the-mill rubbish that we're seeing at the moment. I like Tony for being an individual, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Drew, it is kind of interesting because I kind of feel like Tony really helped kick off like what turned into pretty much the big moves era of Survivor, because leading up you had Karamoan, you had Blood vs. Water, even Philippines was more so you have your one majority alliance sort of picking people from the bottom. But with Tony flip-flopping everywhere, because wiping after that, like Sandron Del Sur, and then it was what was 30? Oh, Worlds Apart, sorry. So I guess he didn't really kick off the big moves in the 30s.
Honestly, Tony doesn't do that. Like, I think people like to remember it. It's kind of like how people like to remember Parvati as being these all-conquering leader of this alliance in Micronesia, which is not the case. And I feel like that's the same thing with Cagayan, where it's like, oh yeah, everyone just kind of looks at Tony as like he's just doing everything. He's pulling off all these crazy moves. In reality, even the Sarah vote is not him. He's the one that's being vocal during Tribal, but he's not the one that pulls that off. His big move is convincing everyone that his super idol couldn't survive one more round, and it's not, and that's great. But it's everyone likes to put him on this pedestal of like, oh man, like he just steamrolled with all these crazy moves. He did. His Winners at War game is where big moves Tony, I feel, actually comes through with the Sophie vote, with getting people to not look at him as a target. But I'm not the biggest Tony person, but I appreciate what he has done for the game, and I have appreciated, I guess, all of his games. It's just like I said, I'm going to use this phrase a lot. there's a lot of revisionist history with Kage-yan, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, well, Michelle, I feel like one of Tony's superpowers. Yeah, he did a lot in Kage-yan and like quite a lot in Winners at War as well. Is he's really good at picking up the pieces of a mess he spills. You know, like with the LJ vote, he just like completely flips, and it's pretty much like you tip over a whole pot of soup, and then you're able to like scoop it back up, put it back in, just to knock it straight over all over again, right? Like he can't sit still. He's always got to be like, you know, like doing something, like flip-flopping, exchanging alliances.
Sounds a bit like George, doesn't it?
It does sound a bit like George. And I was going to say, like, who from the Australian side does like would resemble Tony the most?
Interesting. If he's not already gone before merge. God, but maybe George. Look, George knows who he is.
Yeah, I know that Luke knows who he is. Because Luke, from what I've heard, watched the Spy Shack stuff before he went out and played, and that's what inspired him to make like the Spy Shack all the way back in season 2.
Well, yeah, definitely. That'd be funny for the 2 Spy Shack people to get together. Yeah,
that'd be so great to create the ultimate Spy Shack. But Drew, you said you had a lot of revisionist history to talk about the Kage-yan. What is some of this revisionist history?
Well, outside of Tony like steamrolling, and it's this one big coronation for him, and he's doing all this stuff. You know, Michelle brought up earlier, he's not likable at a lot of points. Like people like to laugh about the llama thing, and yeah, the sound he makes is funny, but in the moment, and that's like I've always been more of a cast person on Kage-yan than pretty much anyone else, because she is a villain adjacent, and she is demonized from jump basically, and Tony's doing the exact same thing, but it never feels like people hate him like they hate her, which is weird. Like even post game, it seems like the fandom, like I feel like the fandom is kind of starting to come around to Cass, which is insane that they haven't, you know, just been on it from the get-go. Cass was such a horrible villain out there. Remember when she flipped off Trish? It's like, so what? Look, that's what constitutes a villain now. Then, where most of us are. But outside of that, like her flipping at the merge is not like, that's not the craziest thing. It's not some all-time villain move. You know, it's people kind of just glance over the fact that Tasha's out here winning immunities. You know, it's when you get to Winners at War and you find out, oh yeah, Tony's never won individual immunity. It's like, it's crazy to think about, but he hadn't until Winners at War where he won like, and then 4.
he won 4.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, we saw Tony in Traders, right? And I guess a massive difference.
Didn't last very long for us to see very long at all.
But if I was to compare Tony in Traders to Kage-yan, because obviously in Kage-yan, as Drew pointed out, like he was just there for the fun of it. He goes out running straight for the idol, gets pretty much voted out straight away. But I feel like in Traders, he didn't really do anything wrong. It was just more so the stigma of, he's the 2-time Survivor winner.
Someone just put him out. Threw him under the bus just because he was a 2-time Survivor winner. He didn't actually do anything wrong. So, it's quite annoying. But then, you know, for his 3 seasons he was on, Sarah was there, which I'd totally forgotten. You know, his Kopsara's sidekick was on all 3 seasons with him. You know, how often do you get your core alliance person do the same seasons as you? He doesn't have that this time. And if he likes to have an alliance with a woman, I don't think Parvati and Suri are going to go with him unless they think it's better to keep your enemies closer. So he's only really got Cassandra then, isn't he?
Yeah, because I know that Lisa's not a fan of Tony.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's already three. There's already half the tribe not a fan of Tony. But
Yeah.
but do you think the 2-time winner thing though, Michelle? Like, do you think that's going to be a stigma that comes back to buy him again, similar in traders, where he doesn't even necessarily have to do anything?
I think so.
Just that title's going to get
I
him
think
out.
so, which is pretty sad because I don't think David will have that same stigma around him, even though he's only run one, once, and people don't know about Dondi. So he's not going to have that. I'm wondering if they knew about Dondi, would they treat him like they treat Tony? If they treat Tony how we think that he's going to be treated.
Yeah. And Drew, do you think we're going to be getting like a similar sort of trader style Tony where he's like sort of quiet trying to put like stuff together? Or do you think we're going to get like a game changers Tony? It's a short season, small tribes.
Well, then that's the thing is after game changers happens, and yeah, like you mentioned, he was just kind of there for the memes, didn't really plan on staying long. Winners at War, and in preseason, everyone picking him to go first because he's Tony. And what happens at Winners at War is he just kind of mellows out for half the game, just lets the game kind of happen, and then once the merge hits, he's off. Because the game is so short, I could see him potentially trying to do, and I know this is such a cop-out answer, but he could just do a mix of both because the game is so quick. He could go out there and be super neurotic and everything behind the scenes, and then when he's talking to people, kind of play the, oh yeah, I'm just here, I'm just here to vibe and everything. Just maybe do, because 16 days, right?
Yeah.
That is such a fast-paced like everything that you kind of have to be like this. You can't kind of build the bonds that you would normally make, in a regular season. You kind of have to do that, and I do feel like a lot of people are going to kind of rely on previous relationships to at least get them through the first part of the game. So I do think that there is a very large possibility that if he's not voted out first on his tribe, he could just get together with the other American Survivor players and to say, hey, we're probably not going to work with each other long term. Let's just get ourselves through these first however many days until the merge, and then we'll go do our own thing. It's going to be so fast.
Yeah. Well, Drew, it's funny to say that because just before we did this live, I listened to the Traders X interview he did on RHAB, right? And he said that, one of his greatest mistakes was that he didn't try playing the game hard. He tried to play, the sort of safer route, and that he was too loyal to the other Survivor players. He was too loyal to Jeremy. Like, he said he would have fallen on a sword for Rob. I kind of doubt that. I don't think he would have fallen on a sword for Rob. And Carolyn, he said he wanted to really protect them. Are we going to get a similar kind of Tony here? Or do you reckon maybe, like, he's just going to try to throw them under the bus straight away?
Well, he's boned if he tries to do that. He shouldn't try to do that first. As the game progresses, yeah, absolutely. But at the beginning of the game, like I said, you don't have time to build bonds like you would in a regular season. Like you just don't. So you have to go with what you know. And if you don't go with what you know and instead try to throw what you know under the bus, you're probably the person that's going to go home first. Like, he doesn't have to work with those specific players, but if he goes out there and tries to go after one of those two, he has a better chance at going home first than those two.
Yeah.
Because of who he is and what he has accomplished in the game.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, we recently talked about Rob and how he's a very alpha type player. He loves being in control, so knowing what's happening. Do you think that there's anything there between Tony and Rob that could somehow work out, or do you think it's just another power on for another player who's most likely going to try and target Tony straight away?
Good question. I think they could possibly work together, and I think he has more of a chance working with him or with God. Yeah, I think he needs to work with the guys, as I said, because I don't think he has much chance with the women. But also with what was his relationship with Parvati and Winners at War? Were they on the same tribe? I should have Googled this.
No.
No.
They were
And
never
they
on the
all
same
sort of-
tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Parvati voted for Natalie to win over Tony as well.
Yeah. So she doesn't think he's a great player either. Well, obviously voting for someone different.
Well,
but
she never got a chance to play with him in the she got to spend time with Natalie on Edge of Extinction and
and then that was it. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think Parvati will go with Tony, but I don't know. What is their relationship outside the game? Do many of the winning survivors see each other? I mean,
and I know she's good with Michelle Fitzgerald, but like I don't think I've ever seen them in the same room. That Tony and Park, like, I don't think they run in the same winner circles.
No, exactly.
Well, Drew, and in your opinion, obviously there are 3 Americans and 4, other players on the World Tribe. Is the strategy for the Americans to try and stick together, or to try and lower their threat, their threat level by sort of sniping out like each other?
That's hard, because if it was 3 different Americans, I could see it, like, because these 3, like Parvati and 3 have their history, but nobody really has history with Tony. If it was 3 different Americans who would kind of play together at different points, maybe, but because it's not the case, I do think it's more likely that it's 2 and 1, and those 2 and 1 find other people that they want to work with on that tribe. If they want to get the 3 together and to say, hey, we're the biggest threats out here because we come from the real show, you know what I mean? Like the OG, they could do that. I don't see that happening. I do feel like I do feel like they're going to kind of just go with what they know. And if they know them and they know, and he's over here, I just don't see a world where the 3 of them work together. I know
it's so hard to figure out who the hell is going to work with who. I think Tony might have a chance. Is it Tommy?
Tommy, yeah.
Tommy, I think there might be a chance there.
Yeah, because I do know that Tommy, well, from the very little knowledge I have, is a massive Tony fan, but he's also a massive David fan as well. Can you see maybe David?
He's not got David on the tribe. He's got to be with somebody from his tribe initially. Yeah.
Do you think if a swap or merge comes around, Michelle, that a player like David can work with Tony?
I think he'd be too scared. Not scared. I think he'd be very wary of working with Tony. They're like 2 big dogs together. Yeah. I don't see them working together.
Yeah. Well, Drew, I kind of feel like the more we talk about individual players, the more we're sort of like, well, nah, they aren't gonna work with Tony. But I'd love to hear from your opinion. What is Tony's winning game here? What can he do to not just survive the first vote, but make it to merge or make it really fun the game? Like, how do you think Tony can?
He's got to play like Winners at War. He can't go up there doing the Kagayan mess. He definitely can't go out there doing the Game Changers mess. He's got to do the Winners at War thing, but like, because the season is so short, he's got to do the Winners at War thing at a fast pace. So, like I said, he's got to be out there hunting for everything and being crazy, but he also has to make sure that face to face and like what people see of him is just normal, regular Tony from New Jersey. Like he's not out there making llama sounds. He's not out there doing anything that would potentially make people look at him as, oh, there goes crazy Tony again. It's like, you want to portray yourself how you were the last time you won the game. And I think that would be his best bet if he's trying to win. For all we know, a lot of these people are out there trying to get the check and just have a fun time, playing Survivor again. Yeah. But if he's out there trying to win again, I think that's the best way for him to do it.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, we've seen Spy Shack, Spy Nest, and Spy Bunker. What is next for Tony? What is an expire, Jason?
Spy tunnel? We're digging into the ground? I mean, what do you do? I don't know. I just can't wait to watch this season. It's just going to be either a hot mess or it's just going to be really, really interesting strategic gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be anything less than those two things.
No. Well, Drew, what do you think it's going to be? Do you reckon it's going to be like a hot mess, or do you think it's going to be like very high-tech caliber strategy?
It's 16 days. So, like Michelle said, that there are only two options, and I don't know which one. I still don't know which one I want, and I don't know which one I actually think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it would just depend on the episode. Like, I would love episode 1 to just be overly chaotic because it kind of has to be. But by the end of the game, I would want it to be more strategy and social based. So once again, I feel like I'm copping out by just giving both. But I think that's the only way that it can happen. It can only happen like that when you're playing a mini version of even just regular Survivor. You're playing a mini version of that. Do we know how many episodes it's going to be?
No, we know nothing. Yeah. George doesn't even know when it's airing. Like, seriously. Yeah. It's crazy. And we've already got the, Survivor 49 date out. Oh my God.
Yeah. All we have, Drew, is just that one promo that aired. Oh, and like here's what's happening in the next 6 months of Channel 10. Where it showed was it George and a budgie smuggler and David just screaming, and that's it.
Yeah. David screaming.
Maybe he's screaming at the budgie smuggler for all we know. It's pretty
if I had to guess, I'd probably do 8 episodes, 8 to 10. Like maybe 10, but
and do it in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, it'll be over probably.
Yeah.
If they do 2 or 3 a week, 2 a week, 8, 3 a week, 12. I don't know.
Yeah,
because
every episode is a day basically, or a day and a half, or yeah.
Well, Drew, I know that I've personally talked a lot of shit about New Era and its days, its format, and all that sort of stuff. I know it's a debate that we've had all the time. Do you think, I guess, moving forward for these kind of seasons, like your global championships, if they were to do like a proper Legends of the show where they got, all the big names come back, is this maybe what the future of Survivor potentially looks like? Really shortened versions?
No, I think that for the if this ends up being a success, whatever constitutes success, I could see them doing this again. Like every couple of years, they just do, we're gonna do another Australia versus the world type thing or something like that. And especially if it's like a hit, I feel like Americans might try to steal the idea and run their own version of this.
Would Popes do that? Would Jeff like to do that?
Yeah, and he would put his own little twist on it to make it seem like it's different, even though it's pretty much the same thing, because that's what he has to do to make it. Yeah. We're the only ones that could come up with good Survivor ideas. Can't be anybody else. So I do see him, but like if it's a success, I do see him potentially taking the idea, putting some type of dumb twist on it, and saying, "Oh yeah, you've never seen it like this before." It's like, well, we have, but it's fine. If it's a flop, whatever constitutes flop, I don't see anyone trying this out again. And if it is a flop, I feel like there's going to be a lot of things, like you guys telling me that they still haven't done any type of real marketing for it, like anything big. They haven't released a date for it. Those are the types of things that if it flops, people will look at and it's like, well, yeah, they couldn't get people. The only hype we have is the fact that it's Australia versus the world. At a certain point, you can tell us hey, this is coming. But until you receive something or are given something, it's just kind of like, yeah, well, any day now, and it's coming, guys. Trust it. It's coming. It's coming. It's like, is it coming? We
There's
know that
there's not been enough build up. That's the problem. There
Yeah.
needs to be more of a build up. I mean, say it only is coming out. Well, they did. The channel told me beginning of August, which it's not even 4 weeks away now. So it's not enough of a build up if they're going to do that. And I don't think they're going to do that now because they usually give a month sort of a date months before. So I don't know what's going on. I think the whole backlash with JLP has thrown everything off and they're all in a mess and I don't know.
Drew, did you hear about all that drama with JLP?
I did. My Facebook feed was plagued with it for days. I mean, the one season I've watched, he was great. I loved him as a host. I can see why people are pissed off about it. Once again, that happens. If this season is a flop, then all of a sudden people are, the sky is falling because we just lost our favorite host. And, this season that was supposed to be amazing ended up only being 16 days of people kind of running around with their heads cut off, like chickens with their heads cut off. And it's like, what are we doing? I mean, it's a similar thing to U.S. Survivor with certain seasons where it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we taking away people's votes? Why are we doing this? I feel like that's where you guys are kind of at right now. It's like, why are we getting rid of someone that no one wants gone? Why are we doing this season like this? And why are we not advertising it? Why not like getting people ecstatic about it?
Yeah. I guess to bring things straight back to Tony, Michelle, how far is he making? Is he first boot, pre-merge? Has he actually got a shot?
He's got no shot at winning. I really don't think he's going to win. Yeah. Really don't think so. Everyone can't make merge. This is a problem. People have to go out before merge. Yeah. He's around merge. I can't say if he's before or after. I don't think he's getting to the end.
Yeah. How about you, Drew? Because I know that you don't know much about the Australian contestants and stuff. From what you do know, how far do you think Tony is likely going to make it? Like with the World Tribe, with the Australia Tribe?
He's either first boot or he's merge boot. First boot or merge boot. Like I can't. Yeah, he's not winning, and I can't wait to go back and laugh at this when he wins. But
this will be very bad.
First boot or merge boot. Yeah. I don't see, if they were to lose that first challenge, I do feel like he would be a very big target, depending on how he's acting up to that point. If he makes the merge, I feel like someone's just going to say, hey, we should probably nip this in the bud now before this happens again. And I think that, I don't know how they're going to do idols and advantages and everything this season, but you get rid of him now before he starts pulling out stuff out of his bag of tricks. And then all of a sudden, Tony is at least sitting at the end. And we're all sitting there like, how the hell did this happen again?
Yeah. No, I feel like that's actually a strong point, because something I said during our Rob podcast, we talked about Rob from Far South Africa, was Rob needs some kind of shield. I don't think Parvati is a shield. I don't think Sari is a shield, but I can see Tony being a shield. And while I think that would be a really heavy shield to carry, I think if somehow Rob can somehow bring Tony to merge, I think that's going to help Rob so much out for the rest of the game, just having this massive, ginormous target literally sitting right in front of him. But if Tony's not there, then I feel like Rob, Drew, you've seen the promo. Rob, he's bloody ginormous.
Yes.
He's literally a mountain. It's impossible to see. So, that's my only sort of worry for Tony, and I guess Rob as well. So I feel like they kind of need each other to progress further. But, I agree. I don't think Tony can win, but I think if he does win, does this solidify that he's the god of Survivor? Is he
it would, but I don't think it's happening.
He wins 3 times. Yes, he would. Like, there would be no argument about anything. It wouldn't even matter how many days they played. Like, you won Survivor 3 times. You played 4 times. That no one's ever, like, statistically, no one's ever going to be able to match that.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Like, even if Sandra were to win again, she's also played Survivor 6 times and she's won twice. So, like, math-wise, the percentages are still less. Bringing math into this. But he's not going to. He's not going to win. And everyone sat there and said the same thing for Winners at War. So,
yeah.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, like everyone predicted Tony to lose, go out round 1 at Winners at War.
Yeah, I had a little bit of hope. I thought he would make it to round 3 or 4 because I was like, well, maybe they'll get rid of like Sandra first. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And coming late to the podcast is Brendan. Hello, Michelle and Coach Drew.
Hello.
Well, hello to you too, Brendan. I'm still rocking the amazing gift you got me. Thank you so much, brother. So basically, Drew, Brendan and my friend Hamish worked behind the scenes with Luke, who's on the Australian tribe because he's my favorite player, to send me over some cheeky merch. I got a hat and a cheeky t-shirt as well, and it swept me off.
Did you post a video about that? I think I saw that.
I did, yeah. And my apartment was really messy as well. I'd like some of my family members being like, "Why isn't your room clean?" It's like, look, shut up. It's an emotional moment, okay? Give me a break. But this does bring us to the end of our podcast. Michelle.
Yeah.
Take a guess. We've got what?
Who've we got left?
We've done 3 players from the Australian tribe with another 4 to go. Sorry, we've done 4 players. We've done Luke, David, Janine, and Kirby. We really just did Kirby. I completely forgot about Kirby.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're doing an Aussie. We're doing an Aussie. So it's going to be either George. Who have we got left?
Shawnee.
George, Shawnee, or
and Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've just done a boy. It's going to be a girl, maybe. Sarah or Shawnee.
Take a guess. You've got to pick one, Michelle.
Shawnee.
No, it's Sarah. We're going to be talking about the amazing Sarah.
Not very lucky there. Not very lucky at all.
Yeah. And in case if you're like, oh, Mucky, you changed it, I can show you the schedule. I promise I did not.
I don't think anyone's going to try to call you out on that.
It's okay. It's not that big. It's all right.
Next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about Sarah Talik and her chances on Australia versus the world. So make sure you tune in for that. But Drew, what projects have you got coming up? Anything exciting that you would like to share?
No, I don't have a single thing coming up. I was recently on the Tribe of Nerds podcast talking about Survivor Fiji. If you guys want to check them out. Jake's doing basically 50 seasons in 50 weeks, which but Jake, we just recorded Fiji a few hours ago, like right before I went to bed, before I woke up to do this. And that was a great time talking about, Earl, Yao-Man, and all of that. And then in 10 weeks, I will be going on to talk about One World, and I'm less excited for that. Outside of that, I'm moving at the end of the month. So maybe by the time I'm on here again, I will be at a different location. It depends on scheduling.
Yeah. And how about you, Michelle? Anything you would like to plug or share before we wrap things up?
No. I put on in the Survivor group, I put up a photo of all my bits and pieces that I own that are Survivor-ish stuff that I said on the last podcast I was going to do. And then I got off after you'd gone off with the fire department. And literally, I don't know what possessed me. I did the fire puzzle and the tree puzzle. The fire puzzle, I couldn't finish it because I'd lost a couple of pieces. And then I found the pieces and I wondered why I couldn't finish it. But yeah, that tree puzzle, sometimes I'm really fast at it and sometimes I'm not. But yeah, if people want to put up what they own. There's been a guy who's put up heaps of stuff. He owns actual torches from players.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and had them shipped from America. So, yeah, just if you want to add your buffs or t-shirts or whatever you own, I mean, you could put a photo of yourself on there, Mucky, with your hat and your t-shirt on.
Oh my gosh, my hat, my t-shirt. I should do the hat
in front of your and put your immunity necklace on.
Oh yes, Sandra Dell's immunity necklace. I could be the coolest looking necklace to exist.
You could do a photo of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I could be like, I am a survivor. I survived trying to make a soup.
Very poorly.
Yeah. Survivor Mucky Hope's cooking, you know. I reckon that'd be a good show. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. We're here for some cheeky, naughty times. Drew, what's something cheeky and naughty that you've been up to this week?
I lead a very dull life right now. So I've been watching Law and Order all week. So
yeah, I mean that is pretty naughty. Watching Law and Order. I mean, isn't that like a cop show or something like that? Or is that
it's that's I have not done a single thing this week.
Yeah, so essentially you're sort of learning. You're learning like what not to do. You're watching all the criminals that get caught, and so you're like, oh, okay. So if I was to do this, this is how I would do it.
Yeah, he's getting ready for his naughty time.
That's very cheeky and naughty of you, Drew. And how about you, Michelle? Anything cheeky or naughty that you've got coming up?
No. I don't think so. I don't know. I'll be with two girls on the weekend. Girls, I'm talking about my age, not little ones. And yes, we'll be eating copious amounts of cheese and maybe wine and watching TV. Things can go awry, but I don't know how. Depends what we do.
Awesome. All right, guys. There's some cheeky, naughty times, you know, to get you guys. Sorry, my brain's just gone blank. You know, if you're feeling fulfilled until next Tuesday, I don't know. We were talking about Sarah to Leak. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Kakite anō, everyone. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.